All right, welcome everyone. I'm going to start with a couple questions, and then we're going to move into a little practice before Amy goes into the gut health and vitality stuff. Do you have moments, and you can just nod your head, yes, no, of losing yourself and getting caught up in other people's energy? Okay. Do you have moments of not even being in other people's energy and not knowing what you want or what you need? Like losing yourself almost in just the chaos of the world, even. Okay, cool. Well, this is a tool that you can use to connect back to your power and expand more into you. So it's very simple. We're going to do it together. It only takes a minute. So it's called the Muse Method, and that stands for my unique self-expression. So it's to connect with our unique self-expression and take up more space. With just women, I've been told to take up less space. No, no, we're going to take up more. So we're going to close our eyes, and I'm going to do it with you. So I'm not watching, do you? We're going to close our eyes. We're going to follow our breath, breathe all the way down to maybe your toes if that feels good or as far as feels safe. And then connect your hands. So maybe as you're closing your eyes and following your breath, bring your hands anywhere that feels like it could use support or it feels like you're kind of sinking into you. And so if this imagery feels right, use it. If it doesn't, throw it out the door. Just imagine with every breath you take, you're stoking that inner fire of you so that you burn brighter and that anywhere in your life where you might feel stuck, it's starting to melt away like that. Those areas are ice, and it's just going to melt it away naturally through you connecting with your unique soul expression and expanding. So that is our intention as we breathe. So we'll be here for the next minute, and I will be quiet, and then I'll walk you back. So go ahead, connect your hands, close your eyes, follow your breath, and hold that intention, connecting and expanding, and notice what's arising in your body. And go ahead and allow in 3 more breaths, just noticing what's here and through your emotions, your sensations, your imagination. Just notice what might have caught your attention, if anything. We're not fixing things here. We're just being with what's here as we expand. And when you feel complete, you can just slowly bring your eyes back to your room and then into our rectangular circle space. Well, thank you all for being here tonight and just opening up this space to lean in to just some things that, that maybe we don't always have conversation around. And I'm honored I get to bring my friend Amy here. So Amy and I went to college together. So we've known each other for over 20 years, I guess. I think so. Yeah. I'm like, holy crap, that doesn't feel right, but it is. Uh, and Amy was a big part of my journey of really helping with chronic pain and helping me to find more ease in my body through working on my gut health. So I want to turn it over to Amy and then maybe questions at the end, Amy. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, we
Okay,
can do questions
cool.
at the end, or if something comes to you at the that I'm speaking and you want to expand or you want to come off mute, I welcome all of it. I know sometimes I forget the questions by the end, so it's no big deal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you for bringing me into this space with you, with everyone, with the women. Um, Jenny is such an amazing person, and I've worked with her in life coaching, and it's just always a healing like talk whenever I'm on the phone with or on a Zoom with Jenny. It's an honor. So, can everyone hear me okay? My mic is being a little strange today.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, thank you all for coming. So, I'm going to start at the beginning here. So, um, a little bit about me. I'm going to start with my story a little bit of how I got here. Because, like Jenny said, I went to college I actually went to college for graphic design and art school. I have 2 art degrees, and I was in marketing for 18 years. I reached that like perfect job that I always dreamed of, an art director in a marketing firm in Chicago. And at the same time, I was so ill. And I had diagnoses of fibromyalgia. I've lived with depression since 14, anxiety so bad that sometimes I wouldn't be able to go to the store to feed myself. Pills to get up, pills to go to bed, pills to cover up symptoms of other pills. Like it was a it was interesting. It was interesting. I grew up in Joliet and had some traumas that I look at now that I pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. And what I know now is that that stuff turned into inflammation and turned into other things, and until I addressed them and unwound them, that was a big part of the root of my issues, my actual health issues and chronic pain. So I decided that I wanted to do something more holistic. I was on 12 different pharmaceuticals at the time with 3 different doctors, and I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing and listening to them. And, at first it felt like I had found an answer when I had a diagnosis of fibromyalgia because it all made sense of like the depression and the anxiety and all of it. And I was like, okay. But something just started not adding up. At my work, I was working actually for a pharmaceutical company. That was my client. And it was just the way we were marketing and targeting, it was grossing me out. So I wanted to figure something out for myself, different way of earning money, different way of living. I just couldn't handle it anymore. So cannabis became legal in Illinois, and I saw something holistic. So I went to my doctors, asked if I could use cannabis, if they'd help me get off some of the medications, if I wanted to see what was me and what was the side effects. Like, could we just peel this back a little bit? They all dropped me, wouldn't work with me. It was, that was definitely a moment where it was like, okay, like either I'm going to live or I'm like not going to anymore. So I started figuring things out on my own, and I worked in cannabis. It took 6 weeks for me to get off of these medications. I basically had them fire me so that I would get a severance, and I was sick in bed for 6 weeks getting off of pharmaceuticals using cannabis. And then I worked in cannabis for a while and learned that while THC was helping me in a way, and it definitely served its purpose, CBD was helping me more. CBD helps inflammation. So I was like, okay, so there's a root of inflammation. No one really talked about this. So the deeper I went, I found some women in 2020 practicing regenerative health. And I kind of had a feeling I wanted to do a cleanse, but I didn't know what to do and where to start. And I finally had this guidance. So I reversed pretty much everything in 30 days on my first parasite cleanse, and learning what food was doing to me. I had no idea about organic eating. I had no idea about anything. Like I thought I was doing the best I can, and we all are. Like we only know what we know until we can expand and learn more, right? I'm not learning much holistic shit in Joliet. I don't. So I was really grateful kind of for 2020 when everyone went online, and different communities were popping up, and I got to expand and talk to different kind of people. So in 2020, life just really dramatically changed for me. And I was already off of the pharmaceuticals, but I was able to get off of kratom, off of cannabis. It was amazing. I started dreaming. My pain levels went from heavily medicated and still like a 9 to like a 2 or 3. 90 days of regeneratively eating and detoxing, I was strong enough to leave a toxic relationship, and that's when I thought I was only going away for a month to heal after leaving this relationship. It was like the last thing I had to detox was him, pretty much. And and then I ended up just staying in New Mexico, and I've started a holistic practice, and I work online with people and in person, and I do energy work and in regenerative health, and it's been it's been amazing. So the stuff that I do in my practice is very curated because I've done it myself, and yeah, everything I share is because I've done it first. Um, and so let's start. What I've learned now after doing this for 6 years is it's really about the nervous system too. Yes, the gut, everything is around the gut too, but the nervous system is so key. Like if we are not regulating our nervous system, we're not going to feel safe to release excess waste. That's weight and the toxins. And I mean, I know as fibromyalgia, like, and someone that had traumas and stuff, like you know, no one could touch me. Like our bodies are so awesome and they protect us and they know it so much. But it is really about the regulation of our nervous system first so that we can feel safe to care for ourselves in this way. Because healing isn't easy, but being sick isn't as easy either. So let me look at my notes. So a lot of reasons why people are struggling today. We are living in a completely different world than 50 years ago, than our grandparents were living in. Today, our bodies are dealing with chronic stress, processed foods, pesticides, glyphosate. Does anyone know what glyphosate is when I say glyphosate? Yeah. So glyphosate's the main herbicide in Roundup. We'll talk about that a little more. But plastics, like what it said that we're eating our credit card of plastic a year. Mold exposure is a huge one. There's a lot of times where we're searching for answers and the root is mold. Like I can say that about myself too. Like I had all these things and I was living in mold. Fragrances, environmental toxins, overstimulation, nervous system overload, convenience culture, depleted soil, nutrient deficient food. So it's really, I mean, our bodies are amazing healing machines, and we're trying to eat healthy, but we're really still undernourished, under mineralized because of our food, the state of our food. So I think a lot of people blame themselves. I blamed myself, but we could be doing all the right things and it just really isn't enough because the food that we're buying, even from Whole Foods, organic, great food, is still dead. It's from soil that is completely depleted. So when we step back and look at the environment we're living, it really makes sense that people are inflamed, exhausted, anxious, bloated, disconnected, brain fog, burned out. We've got hormone problems. We're emotionally struggling. Our digestive systems are out of whack. So the modern body is just overloaded. So healing really starts by reducing the burden while increasing nourishment. And that's what regenerative health is. We put more into the body than we take out. So it's kind of just like regenerative farming. So let's talk about why the food isn't working anymore. So one of the biggest realizations I had during my healing journey was that the food is just not what it used to be. So we're growing food in depleted soil, monocropping. Foods are often grown for shelf life and transportation rather than nutrient density. Like it's picked before it's ripe, wrapped in plastic, sent across the world. So we're spraying foods with pesticides and glyphosate. Our bodies are needing minerals, amino acids, antioxidants, enzymes, phytonutrients to properly function. And our bodies just can't perform its natural healing processes that they should be able to detox naturally and everything. Our body just doesn't have the raw materials right now to do so. So I love sharing this statistic. 1 carrot grown in regenerative, mineral-rich soil can contain the nutrient equivalent of around 200 carrots grown in conventional soil. So like, how many salads would you have to eat in a day to try to like get this in your body, you know? So it's just really, I just really want to share that the quality of our food matters deeply. So I love, I follow Zach Bush a lot. Have anyone heard of Zach Bush, Dr. Zach Bush? Like, I've loved him forever. He's so amazing, and he's just keeps evolving too, but he's like the grandfather of like talking about glyphosate and soil health. I would highly recommend listening to some of his stuff. He talks a lot about the microbiome of the soil and how we're disconnected and what we've become from nature and biodiversity. I like to say that I work with terrain theory, where I'm working with the body's terrain, but a lot of times my clients are, and anyone, we can't just be purely terrain theory as well, because we have to kill some of these parasites, and it has to find a balance. So I feel like Zach talks about biome theory, and that's what I can align with a lot. So when the soil becomes depleted, our plants become weaker, the microbiome becomes weaker, and eventually our bodies become weaker too. So glyphosate is now one of the most heavily used agricultural chemicals in the world. And it's something really important to understand. Like, the glyphosate was actually patented as an antibiotic and a mineral chelator. Yeah. So, like, I think some of us are aware that we don't want to keep, oops, sorry, taking antibiotics all the time, right? But if we're eating non-organic food, it's doing the same thing, and it's killing our gut microbiome. Like, one round of antibiotics, it takes about 6 months to like get your gut back online. And I remember back, like, I was taking antibiotics like at least yearly, a couple times a year. So it's taken a long time to unwind the damage that I've unintentionally did to myself. So, glyphosate will impact the microbiome, and it interferes with minerals, absorption of minerals. It creates leaky gut. It breaks the tight junctions in our gut so that chemicals and food will enter into the body, into our bloodstream. And if we are, you know, our happiness, our serotonin, it's like 95% of our serotonin is created in the gut. So if our gut is not happy, like we're not happy. Like, it makes a lot of sense why I had depression most of my life if I was always sick, you know? So when we combine that with the stress of the world, processed foods, nervous system dysregulation, convenience eating, environmental toxins, it really creates the perfect storm for digestive issues and fatigue and brain fog, even food sensitivities, inflammation, anxiety, burnout. So even people that are really trying to be healthy are struggling because the body is carrying much more of a burden than it's ever designed to be doing. So one thing, I'm going to be sending out a little PDF in the after email with the replay and stuff, and it's going to have this. I'll show you this right now. Maybe you guys have seen it before. It's called the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. So I know the prices of food right now are astronomical as it is. So that was part of the reason when I didn't know what organic eating was and why it was so important. I just thought it was just too expensive. And now I realize, like, I would rather pay the farmer than pay the doctor later on for the result of eating non-organic. So this is a good guide that, like, some of these things, like on the clean side, I actually wouldn't put sweet corn on there, but watermelon, bananas, avocados, those things have thicker skin, so it is more protected from the spraying. So we don't always have to buy everything organic. This is a good chart to help you pick like some things that you really should always be doing organically. Strawberries, kales, the greens, apples. Apples helps to like even just peel them, because usually they're covered with wax anyways too. So you'll get that in your handout later, but that's a good guide. And it's also not perfect, and organic food isn't what it used to be either. But we do the best we can. Like the fear of, like, we can't live in fear, right? That is inflammatory as well. So we still need to live our lives, but we have to find a balance. So by detoxifying, using herbs, doing a cleanse every once in a while, we can find a balance of still being able to enjoy going out to dinner with friends, and it might not be perfect. Like I live in a pretty small town and there's not a lot of organic like restaurants everywhere, but we find balance. So let's talk about digestion. So digestion should feel nice and easy. But a lot of people, most people, me included, have suffered with bloating, heaviness after meals, acid reflux, constipation. Like there's an epidemic of constipation in this country. Gas, food sensitivities, fatigue after eating, and food just feeling like after you eat, it just sits in your stomach. So often the digestive system is just overwhelmed. And when the body is stuck in fight or flight, digestion also slows down. So literally a good example, like I am a culprit of eating on the go. If our awareness is outside, making sure that there's not a car that's going to crash into us, our body is not focused on digestion. So we're just eating like without mindfulness. So a lot of times part of people's protocol is blessing their food, whatever that looks like, but just putting a little gratitude, having a couple breaths, or voos before eating. Have you ever heard of voo? Jenny, do you use this one? Yeah. I used to om before we ate, and now we voo, especially when I'm like not in my body. So vooing is a little bit like oming, and it's just voo. If you want to try it, we'll just do one together. Breathe in. And you should be able to feel it right in here. So it's like really massaging the vagus nerve. So it kind of can bring you back into the body, bring your vagus nerve, calming that down, and you'll digest better. So just by that alone, being more present with your food and your meal can make digestion easier. So a lot of people are stressed, rushed, multitasking, emotionally overwhelmed, and just like shoving food in the mouth, right? So some foundational ways we can support digestion. One of the most powerful things is to just reduce the digestive burden. So we don't want to restrict, we don't need to be perfect. No, we don't punish ourselves, we just more support. So slowing down while you're eating, chewing more thoroughly, sitting while eating. Like how many of us are just like standing at the kitchen counter while we're eating and not even like taking the meal to a seat? Like that really matters. That like helps the body know that it's like time to actually digest just by sitting. Reducing distractions, simplifying meals, like we'll talk about this after. Supporting hydration and minerals, reducing processed foods, and eating foods closer to nature, so less processed, more whole foods. The body, we're in a world of like taking magic pills and supplements and all of this, and when we take it, we don't make it a lot of the times, and our bodies don't recognize these isolated manufactured vitamins either. They can be really taxing on the liver and kidneys. Our body does recognize whole foods. Like that's where it knows how to break down. It breaks down the protein into amino acids. It's breaking down the fruits into the carotenoids, and it's in a way that our body recognizes. So I love like whole food supplementation. Like food is our medicine. So some interesting things about simplifying meals and food combining. So fruits digest really quickly, like 20 minutes. Melons actually start digestion in the mouth with pectin, with the saliva. So fruits should actually just be eaten alone. Food shouldn't be combined with other foods. When we're combining fruit and food, like the food, like it's so common where we would have watermelon for dessert or pie for dessert. But if we're eating like a cooked meal is going to take a couple hours to digest, sitting in our gut, sitting in our digestive tract. We put in fruit on top. The fruit is going to be digested and just sit there, and it will ferment on top of the food. So that again is causing leaky gut, indigestion, not feeling good. That's just from the simple food combining. So I like to put fruits earlier in the day. It says a little bit about the order of detox as well. So like I always love starting my day with lemon water. Lemon water will alkalize the body. Like we have trillions of cells, and every single cell releases waste in our body, and it goes into the lymphatic system. It needs to move. So when we wake up, all those cells have just detoxified themselves, or hopefully they are. And then we're waking up very acidic. So the lemons can, even though a lemon is acidic, it alkalizes in our bodies. So lemon water, lime water in the morning, first thing. A lot of clients just see results just from that alone. So try that. And then putting fruit first. So fruit hydrates the bowels, hydrates. Fruit are our cleansers. Fruit starts moving the lymphatic system. And fruit will digest first. So we put the fruit first in the morning. I love doing like fruit till noon and a superfood shake in the morning and some aminos. And that really gives you a lot of energy. Like we actually need the fruit for ATP, for cellular energy, fructose. So, and kind of to talk a little more about the food combining thing, when we're putting vegetables and protein work great together. Starches and vegetables work great together. But starches and protein, we need an acidic digestive system, or acidic enzymes to digest meats and proteins, heavier proteins. We need an alkaline enzyme to be digesting carbs and starches. So when we're like putting meat and potatoes together, basically, we have canceled each other out, and we're not going to really digest that. So we want to like separate those as well, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's an interesting. America's food system and meal planning didn't really go along with this. It really set us up for some horrible digestion. But those kind of simple things, like you can really get your digestion back on track, and just having more simple meals, just having plain vegetables alone, plain fruit alone. So let's talk about the nervous system stuff. So this is a part that I really wished I learned earlier in this journey. The nervous system impacts the digestion, hormones, inflammation, detoxification, emotional regulation, sleep, and your healing capacity. So the body cannot deeply heal while it feels unsafe. And many people have been living in survival for years. Like our adrenals are shot, we're getting by with caffeine and no sleep. Like it is, and our nervous system is just fried, it's inflamed. So a body that cannot deeply heal while it feels unsafe. And many people have been living in survival mode for many years, right? So we really have normalized rushing, overworking, stress, emotional suppression, disconnection from the body. But eventually, our body's going to start speaking up. Like our body is always giving us clues and whispers. At a point, it's going to start screaming if we don't start listening. So healing really requires us to slow down, to rest, to emotionally support ourselves. We need community to heal. We need our breath, coming back to our breath, nervous system regulation, and learning how to feel safe again. So I know that I have definitely come down with a, I don't even like to say I'm getting sick. I say I am healing from something, right? But it does feel like the universe is like, all right, you didn't listen and you are going to be in bed for a while. You're going to listen now, right? Has that ever happened? We, our body gives us clues. So I wanted to just bring in this little thing. And I think a lot of us have been in this situation where, you know, it's like when have you ever seen that meme where the guy is like in a little house and his fire is a little small and then the fire keeps growing and growing and growing and he thinks it's fine because he's just been in it and it's just been growing and he's like in a burning house at the end of the meme. And it's like we don't know what we don't know because we've gradually just lived with inflammation and stuff like that. So what we think is normal probably isn't actually that normal. I'm going to share this chart. Has anyone seen this chart before? Yeah. So a lot of times when I talk about poop a lot in my practice. Because when we're detoxing, like we need to poop. Like we should be pooping at least once a day, a couple times a day. It's kind of like those dolls that you used to feed, and then it came right out. Like that should be our bodies, and like the chronic constipation that's going on. Like a lot of that is emotional. Like from us being in control, not feeling safe. Like we don't have time to release. So a lot of times my clients tell me that they're pooping fine. And I finally had to bring this in because what this fine for someone that isn't used to pooping, it isn't actually fine. So you can kind of notate this for yourself of like what is actually normal pooping. And maybe there's room for improvement. Usually constipation and diarrhea are both the the solutions are usually pretty similar. So let's talk about just some basic foundations that support the body. Sunlight. Sunlight in the eyes. Our circadian rhythm. Like when we're healing, like we heal while we sleep. We need restorative, regenerative sleep. 8 hours of sleep. I've heard studies of women need more than 8 hours of sleep. So by going outside in the morning, first thing, having sunlight in your eyes and going out at night, watching the sunset, that can like train our bodies to get back onto a more natural circadian rhythm. Like I have glasses that are red toned and yellow toned to block out the screens and stuff, and turning that kind of stuff off at night. Like we were in our ancestor time, like we were only reading and being awake with fire at night, and we were able to actually calm down and rest easier instead of being on screens, right? So sunlight, grounding 10 minutes a day is amazing just for inflammation, peace, nervous system. Connection to nature is one of the best things you can do for your nervous system. Hydration. Hydration is really key, especially if we're in detoxification mode. But a lot of times, the illness things that like the symptoms that we are dealing with is actually related to dehydration. Like the root of inflammation is dehydration. Minerals go back to the food source that we're eating. Most people are mineral deficient. And that can be related to the water that we're drinking too. A lot of times we are trying to do better and not drinking the tap water with fluoride or the chemicals that the city has put in it, and we're getting pure, clean, reverse osmosis water. that has absolutely nothing in it, and we're stripping ourselves and not having enough minerals. So usually I remineralize, or doing something extra for minerals is necessary. Walking, sweating, sleep, getting enough sleep, and really reducing processed foods, slowing down, community. Like, I know Jenny is an amazing space holder and bringing women together. That is so important. Like, we can't heal alone. We're meant to heal in community. Slowing down, yes. And then nervous system support. So those are basic things that we need to incorporate into our lives to just be able to slow down and really remember who we are. Humans grown from the earth. These things really matter deeply. So healing doesn't always begin with just like extreme protocols and crazy detoxifications. It's just coming back to ourselves, coming back to our circadian rhythm, coming back into nature. One of the best ways I love slowing down and resetting my nervous system is laying under a tree and just watching the leaves, like, or hugging a tree too. So, we talked about how most people are undernourished, mineral depleted, exhausted, inflamed, overwhelmed. This is a big reason why superfoods and nutrients became important to my life. Not from a place of dieting, but a place of nourishment. So I use regeneratively grown superfoods. I've been using them since 2020, and it completely changed my life. And it's once you get actual nutrients in your body, like, it just comes back online. It's why I reversed all these symptoms in 30 days. It wasn't because I did anything crazy special. It was just I got the food that I was supposed to be getting. And a lot of times our guts are so inflamed and not absorbing. So just doing a gut reset where we're actually like slowing down, giving the digestion a break is so powerful. And once the nourishment, it goes right to the cells, activates the mitochondria, and it lets the nervous system know that it's a little safer to release. So doing the emotional work and the physical work, they both matter. Yeah, Jenny and I both use these foods. So it's not really about dying, it's dieting, it's about nourishment, putting more into the body than taking out. So, Jenny, I would love to have you share. I love collaborating with Jenny because she talks a lot about the nervous system and the emotional stuff and the community. I'd love for her to talk a little bit about how working on her nutrition has supported her in her healing. Yeah, we use a company called Purium, and that's literally the only company that I would suggest. It's the only company that is, they have a 10-point testing system. I use it with clients that have mold toxicity and that are super, super sensitive. It's called Purium, Purium. And Jenny has a gift code that she can share too if you feel called to check it out, where you can save like $50 on your first order. And I'm happy to, like, in my practice, I'd use muscle testing. So I use distant muscle testing, and I'm happy to help, like, tailor what you want to do, like what would be best for your body in the moment. I can help you with that with Jenny as well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Something else I love about, I'm just going to share, like, I'm very
Yeah.
passionate about Purium. Purium is amazing. It's their superfoods are picked when they're ripe, right? Like Dave and Amy are the owners of Purium. They have they're their own manufacturer. I've been to the plant. I've met Dave and Amy in Long Beach, California, and Dave developed his own system of picking stuff at the farms and dehydrating it with wind and solar power. So it is so nutrient dense. And some of the farms that they work with, like they have a farm in Utah that has, it's an ancient lake bed of 98 feet of topsoil. Like, that's unheard of. So like their standards are beyond anything I've ever found. The school that I went to, we used these foods in our protocols. She's never found anything cleaner. Um, like the women that I've trained with Dr. Robert Morris. He's like the founder of regenerative health. And like he talks about detoxification with high fruit. He heals people with just grapes from cancer and stuff. And it's amazing. And what my friends have found with just doing his protocols where people couldn't thrive. They were so depleted because of the food, just sending them to the store and making smoothies and doing stuff. Um, they just couldn't thrive. I was actually on a, and when they brought in superfoods, when they bought Imperium, people could do it because people were putting more in the body than taking out. Like it was wild. I was just on a call with Zach Bush talking about his product Ion, which is amazing. But he was sharing his evolving. Uh, he had a clinic where he was like, it's about the food and it's about juicing and you got to do the greens. And he didn't realize about the organics until he knew. So he like, I mean, I was crying with him. like he was juicing all of this kale. So he was literally giving these people high doses of glyphosate until he knew better. Like, so it's just so important, like what we put into our body. Imperium has one of the only products on the market. It's third party tested. It's backed by the Detox Project to remove glyphosate from the body. It's capsules of herbs. So it's like a glyphosate detox. It's called Biomedic, one of their products. And that product is what I can really contribute to removing the inflammation and healing my gut. Like that was life changing for me. And it's got the fulvic and the humic. It's kind of like binding stuff together and also repopulating the gut. So there, it's amazing, amazing stuff. Sorry, Jenny.
Perfect. You spoke
Passionate.
into the biomedic. I know.
Yeah.
Let it fly. So yeah, I mean, Amy and I have known each other from college, like I said, but I went away. This is when I was still involved in the church. I went away to summer camp and I was already eating clean. I was already eating relatively clean, pretty no processed foods, off of coffee at that time, or getting off of. And I went to summer camp with a bunch of students, and, and all they feed the kids is processed food and maybe some iceberg lettuce. I by the end of a long weekend or a week, I think it was a week, I can't even remember because it was so far long ago. I couldn't walk. I literally was completely incapacitated. I was crying in so much pain. I couldn't do anything. And when I came back and I was constipated as get out. Before that, I was super suicidal and depressed. And I talked to Amy and I was like, I need to do something because she was sharing her practice and what has shifted for her. And I think within even just starting it within 10 or 15 days, I was already feeling a difference. And I'm not going to tell you I don't have pain still. There is still moments of pain. And I just traveled. I don't have a problem when I fly to poop right away. I got to my friend's house, like within the hour I pooped. I'm like, well, that's good. So I know that feels like too much, but in the past, whenever I traveled, I couldn't poop for days. So I know, and I go with, it goes with me when I travel. It's made an impact and I won't look back because I know our food is not, it doesn't have the nutrients and the world is inflamed. And so, of course, we are inflamed because we eat the food from Mother Earth. So, yeah. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, no, of course. I dropped a link to the Purium blog, and it shares a little more about biomedic and the glyphosate epidemic and how it's being used, how it can work and stuff. Does anyone have any other questions about their own their own guts, their own health, or anything that I talked about? Go ahead, Claudia. Yeah.
Okay, so when you were explaining about eating fruits early in the morning, starting with lemon water, you went on to discuss eating like proteins with vegetables. But then I didn't catch the part about the starches.
Yeah, let me pull up a chart for us to take a look at. It's easier when we can see it. I'm a
When do I eat my starches?
with vegetables or alone. Food combining chart. Basically, it's fruit alone, and then eating proteins with vegetables and starches with vegetables, but just not together. I'm trying to find. Let me see my documents. Sorry. There we go. You want to take a screenshot of that, maybe?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
It just makes it very difficult for somebody who is protein deficient. And it just becomes somewhat more complicated with somebody that has other deficiencies for other reasons.
Well, it's interesting. Protein deficient. It's because we don't actually need protein. We need amino acids.
Right. And I understand that from your perspective of nourishing the body. But when it comes to, well, bodybuilding and building muscle, proteins are needed.
Amino acids are the building block of protein, though.
They are indeed.
Hmm. Like I'm working out and I have a trainer right now too, and we talk about this a lot. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I use something from Purium called Super Amino 23. I use amino acids. I'm
Yeah.
not going to wake up and have like a steak. Like I stick
No,
to,
correct.
I stick to my still like eating fruit. And there's aminos in fruit, there's aminos in vegetables, there's other ways of finding protein. But I think amino acids are a great supplement to add in when you're trying to build muscle. Like the amino acids were created, like the ones that Purium has, were created by an Italian or French doctor for cancer patients that would lose their muscle in a coma. So these
Um,
build muscle, burn fat. Like if you're looking at macros, I guess technically one tablet would be equal to 1 gram of protein, but it just doesn't. It's like more like 3 to 5 grams because it's assimilated differently. Like you don't have to,
right, right.
like protein is used, like not all of it's going to be utilized. Like an amino acid tablet, 99.9% is utilized right into the bloodstream. Like an egg, and especially if you have other things going on, like if you have any kind of inflammation, if you have a parasitic imbalance, viral, bacterial, if you're like, people say egg is the perfect food, but like eggs are perfectly the perfect food to feed pathogens. So like I was trying to get protein and eating eggs, and it was my favorite meal, and I'd start my day with eggs every meal when I was super sick. And it was literally feeding the parasites and pathogens in my body. And like if we're waking up and like, so fruit are your cleansers, raw vegetables are your builders, and cooked food really like slows to stops a detox. So if we're waking up and having a heavy big breakfast every day, we're not really like giving the body an opportunity to release. So if you're starting the day with some aminos, lemon water, fruit, doing a superfood shake, like this is the lifestyle that I live. But even if you're not doing the superfoods, but just putting fruit, like the longer you can do fruit, you're giving your body a little more time to like release. And that's how I kind of find balance. Like I'm not on a detox every day. That's not even, it's not okay to, for your nervous system, for the body. Like we go in and out of detox, but like we should be parasiting cleansing like at least once a year. That's never been discussed with me until I learned this in 2020. But the root of most of dis-ease and inflammation is parasites, this imbalance that's gone on. Like, and I love my dog, but us dog owners have more parasites than most people as well. Like,
Well, then I'm fucked. So, because I work with dogs professionally, so you know.
so maybe that's something you want to look at, because um, like I was vegan for a while when I started this journey, like to fully like let go of inflammation and give my gut a break. Um, I went to an alkaline diet, and that was removing meats because meats are they're acidic and they take a long time to break down and stay in the gut a long time. But now I'm incorporating meat again, and so I'm not here to like. I really hate labels and diets, like
Yeah, yeah.
completely. Like it's just more about what does the body need in the moment. Is right now the time for eggs? Is it time to like, or is it time to like take away things that are causing mucus, and so that we can release the imbalances of the root cause of things. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So that's why I think aminos are just like a really great supplement to add in to when you're gaining weight, when you're losing weight, all of it, just to find the balance.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I hope that helps. I love that you work with dogs too. They're the best.
They are the best.
Hi. I
Hi.
had a question about gastroparesis.
Okay.
I have had multiple studies done, and I tried to eat lots of fresh vegetables and whatnot. And we actually have an organic farm that I go to and I pick up my vegetables, and then I would juice them and I'd eat. So I ended up with a Basor because my stomach was already slow digesting, and then the Basor formed and then blocked the outlet from my stomach to my small intestines. I ended up in the emergency room, et cetera, et cetera. And then from there, I think it caused nerve damage, honestly, because I went on to lose 50 pounds, and I was introduced to a J tube because I was having trouble eating. So,
Oh.
do you have any protocols for? Because I mean, I cook all my vegetables. That's what I've been advised to do
I was
to
just gonna
prevent
say,
that.
sounds like
Yeah,
raw wouldn't be really for you right now.
no. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm constantly bouncing back and forth between what my body can do and like what the best nutrition advice is, because sometimes they're contradictory for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And so it's a very frustrating thing. People are like, you should eat more, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can't actually eat that. I also have a rare genetic disorder that my body doesn't handle potassium properly. So I have to watch high potassium foods too. So uh, I get really stuck. Like sometimes I'll just literally eat pretty much the same thing for a couple of weeks just because it's exhausting trying to figure out what I can handle and what I can't.
Yeah.
So
Can I connect to you energetically? Can I muscle test you for a couple things?
sure, I have myotonia, have fun. EMGs love me.
Yeah. Well, I think Purium would be a good answer for you because it would be really easy to digest and really simple. Uh,
Like a specific product.
Super meal shake, the super meal shake.
Super milkshake.
Yeah.
Okay.
That shake is a little more nutrient dense versus like they have a couple different ones. They've got like a protein shake called dark berry. They've got a green shake that's just very alkaline called power shake. Super meal is more caloric density, more of like a meal replacement, but it's got a lot of adaptogenic herbs in it and sprouted grains. It's really nice and grounding. It's really nice for the nervous system.
Mm.
As I think from what your body has gone through, I'm picking up on like a fear of food, of like, what do I do? Like, you don't want to be in pain anymore. You don't want to be put in the hospital anymore. Like, so that alone is creating inflammation in your nervous system, and
Yeah.
groundedness. Yeah.
Well, and the medical community for the treatment of gastroparesis, they say refined everything. And what ended up happening, because then your body doesn't have to do so much work and it's easier for your digestive system to take it in. Problem is I became malnourished because, like, my hair started falling out because I wasn't getting vitamins and
Yeah.
minerals. Hello,
Yeah.
doctors, come on.
So like amino acids and like a really like regeneratively grown food superfood shake from Purium would be amazing for you to actually be able to digest, to get the
Okay.
aminos. Um, yeah, Susan, definitely amino acids.
One food that I do know I really like
Ten a day
um,
shakes.
is the sea buckthorn. I get it freeze dried so that it retains as much nutrients as possible, but is shelf stable. Um, I that my body loves that stuff. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is about that, but my body's like, more of that. I want that.
And I wouldn't say like raw foods, but like putting sprouts wherever you possibly could.
Okay.
Sprouts seem to be an okay thing for you right now.
Okay.
Um, Fruits are interesting. Like your body doesn't even want fruit. Do you eat fruit?
Um, I can do the applesauce. I mean, I'm doing okay right now, but I stay away from things like spinach, raw carrots, you know, uh,
Yeah.
any even like cooked. Like I used to love beet greens. They were my favorite. And no, that's not happening. I don't feel good afterwards. I can't eat oatmeal. It sits in my stomach too long, and then I can't eat for 3 days. So,
Have you ever done a detox though? Because I feel like there's a toxic load thing going on right now too, that if you gave your body, if you removed some of the toxins as well as like deeply nourishing yourself,
mhm.
that things would come back more online as well. But I feel like, let me see. There's a heavy metal, you have a high heavy metal load right now.
High heavy metal. Hmm. Well, I am an artist. Here I am playing with my titanium gesso. Maybe that's where that's
Maybe.
coming from.
I mean, we're so inundated, like you can't even like pinpoint it sometimes. Like it just comes in and it's just something where we have to kind of find what it is. And like when I work with people, I do like a toxic load intake and I muscle test what is it? The parasite load, viral load, bacterial load, heavy metal, mold, glyphosate, microplastic, fungal.
Do you use wormwood for the um
For parasites?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I use like Purium has a great parasite cleanse and it's a nice colon cleanse. It's very gentle and it's a good starting point. And
Okay.
there's wormwood in there. I think there's clove, the basics. And then I also am a Cellcore practitioner. So Cellcore has par 1, par 2, par 3, par 4 different, and I use muscle testing to determine which one would be best suited. I use a company for zeolites that are activated. A zeolite is a natural found
Yeah.
compound,
I
and
have some zeolite actually in the stone form. So
cool. Um, those are really great for removing heavy metals safely. Um, Yeah, so it kind of just depends, and sometimes it just takes alkalizing the body and creating a more alkaline environment.
mm,
And sometimes, I mean, I have clients. My client today, I saw he he's had he's had his parasite load and stuff just go down naturally by doing 2 shakes a day and putting fruit first in the morning and just changing up the diet a little more.
mm,
Because if it's really like the terrain theory, like we can't. It's like if we're a fish tank, we have to drain the tank. We can't just keep putting new water in it. It's still going to be dirty. Like, so
Mm.
if we're like just trying to find like the perfect supplement and find like we're not absorbing, we're not gonna, it's not gonna matter like if our tank is dirty. So we really have to drain the tank and then incorporate, like start over and see what we need. You know, so and with muscle testing, it's been just an amazing shift to see like because it isn't like I thought like when I see heavy metals in imbalance, I was like, oh, okay, cell defender, and you're not testing for cell defender. So it's like everyone's really different. So it's like these one size protocols for like, oh, you've been labeled with this itis and you need this. Like it's not true. Like we're all
Yeah.
very different, and sometimes it's just we have to go really slow and just let the body feel safe first and just nourish it and like, you know, bring it back to life, give it a little healing ability of its own before we can like take things out too. But by alkalizing, things will just naturally fall out too.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have any questions, but is there anything else? Because I know we are at time at 8 o'clock,
Yeah,
so I want to
I
just
was
respond.
I was just looking at the questions. Yeah, the suggestions for products for remineralizing. The shakes, I mean, I suggest whole food supplementation, and everything from Purium is whole food. That's like even the capsules of stuff is really whole food. Like the vitamin C, they have a C from nature, and it's like there's just fruit in it, you know. Or the zinc aid is zinc, C, D, E, and A, but it's like whole food zinc. So I prefer using Purium. I also use other things for mineralization. Um, I'm testing out something called beam minerals right now. Um, so there's different things. I usually just muscle test everything though because people I like I've been trained so I have like this list of things that is trusted by my school and stuff that I use and like in my community, and then I just see what's coming up as a priority and then I muscle test. So, and like I said, for the parasite cleanse, a good starting one is usually the Purium one, so called Super Cleanse R is
Yeah,
really
I just
good.
found it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long do you do that for?
So that one, usually you kind of prep by cleansing your diet. Usually, like I love adding one or two shakes a day in from Purium to kind of deeply nourish. The Biomedic is a good binder to be on while you're doing Super Cleanser. So that's important too. Like you don't want to just do a parasite cleanse, just take wormwood and white black walnut and stuff like that without binding because as you kill these parasites, they drop off. Or sorry, I just saw someone drop off. They they release what they've been eating. So like if they've been eating heavy metals and toxins, you know, they as they die, they release it all. So you need a binder in there. So Biomedic works great with Super Cleanser. So you do that for a few weeks first, and then Super Cleanser you do 10 days on. You do 2 capsules in the morning, 2 capsules in the evening, 10 days on, pause 14 days, and then you do a second round. So that bag comes with both rounds. So it's like month one, month two. But I would be doing something like Biomedic at the same time, something like.
And Amy, you were referring to like the packs that come together for them, correct? Were you referring to that or no?
There are really nice kits that come with Shake, Biomedic, Super Cleanser. Yeah, you can get a whole kit, and that's usually cheaper. The Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think they have one now that has the Super Cleanser with just one shake a day, too. Um, yeah. And if you're not doing kits and you're just kind of building it on your own, there's other aminos that are a little less expensive, too, that you can get. I recommend. Yeah. Yeah, and Claudia, like I would, if you have dogs at home, like usually I try to parasite my dog while I'm parasiting, cleansing. Or sometimes she has a worm and then I parasite cleanse too. So it's good to do both at the same time.
What do you recommend for dogs?
Um,
I was like, I don't know
you know
that.
what's funny? Like one dog, I literally, she brings her dog and I muscle test both of them. and her dog was muscle testing for Super Cleansar, actually. But we found she had a good tincture from Amazon that I felt like was safe and pretty decent, but it has the same kind of stuff as us. But again, it really depends. Like, Lucy ate like a carcass and was really sick and brought her poop in, and she tested for tapeworm. So she got fenbenzynol, like the white powder. Like that's what works with tapeworm, right? And then I tested for para-4. Para-4 in Cellcore is for tapeworm. So that was great to see that thing come out. That's interesting.
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes, I have seen
no,
some weird things come out of me.
no,
Yeah. It's better out
no.
than in. Way better out than in. I mean, if you want to get like, I mean, if you have depression, anxiety, all these things that like I had, um, they the parasites don't just feed on chocolate and candy and sugar and stuff like that. They also feed on repeating loops in your mind of like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. Like the depression, like that is also inflammatory to our system. So that is causing a terrain where they thrive. So it's all connected. So by cleaning these parasites out, it literally clears like brain fog, and you have a clear connection to source. You like my Reiki energy has like increased, my connection to source, to God, to like all of it has amplified by clearing these out. Is and I don't know, like I could get a little weird if you want, but like they are like a physical anchor for lower entities to attach to you. And when you're, clearing out and your vibration, if you're raising your vibration, like you don't want these things in you, you
My vibration wants candy.
know?
Bro, I am worthy of my candy. Okay, y'all.
Yeah,
Like,
I love
sorry.
candy too, but I don't love feeling depressed and anxious. So
Candy doesn't make me depressed.
parasites in an unhealed gut though.
That maybe, sure. This is why I'm not allowed in these things, Jenny. Like,
It all belongs. Amy's heard it all before. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
I used to love, now I can't eat candy like I did in the past. I will have dark chocolate. I
mm-mm.
just, like now that I've had the pure, like the whole foods, my palate, it doesn't crave it anymore.
Yeah.
It just
Well,
doesn't, because I had so much sugar before.
yeah. I'm gonna get gummy bears for life tattooed across my chest. Like it's a thing. Gummy bears. Like that's yeah. It's not-
Yeah, it's okay.
You know, a funny thing is that like the last 3 years, I do not like sugar at all. My husband loves it and he hates it when I buy anything sugary because I'm like, oh, that sounds nice, but I don't actually want to eat it. I just want it in my house because it looks cool. And he's like, so am I eating this? I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat it, but I don't crave sugar at all. I don't want sugar. Mm-mm. I don't like sugary drinks. I don't like, like every once in a while I'll have like an ice cream sandwich or something. And I don't even really enjoy it because I like the idea of it, but I don't like it. Just doesn't make me feel good. So, and I mean, my labs are pulled every 6 months. So, I mean, I know I'm not diabetic. So,
I think it's
it's,
just
I just
finding
don't crave sugar
balance.
anymore.
There can be a balance. Yeah. Like it doesn't, I'm a big fan of like just balance, not all or nothing. Like I am not perfect. I don't expect anyone else to be. I don't.
If I meet a perfect person, wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met one.
No, no. I mean, that's the interesting thing about healing, right? Like we're on this healing journey and we're doing the work and stuff, but actually, like we are perfect exactly how we are right now. So, you know, it's all perfect. It's just a journey.
Mhm.
So thank you so much, ladies. And
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Amy and Jenny.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
reach
you
out to
so much.
Jenny if you want more info on Purium, doing any of that stuff. And I'm happy to jump on and give you some deeper advice if you need anything. So happy to
Thank
support.
you.
I'll
Have a
follow
good
up with
evening.
Thank
email
you.
with everything, so you will have it in one place.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Good
Thank
night,
you.
ladies.
Good night.